pure, at times unyielding. The same can be said for an athlete's desire. Skaters in Canada have come to Switzerland, where ice caps the Alps. The parallels are obvious. To reach the summit, to stand atop the world, gold medal in hand. And the rest of the world is here to challenge. Their resolve as strong as the ice. Champions of the past, present, and to the future in Lausanne for the opportunity to call themselves the best in the world. Celsius outside and sunny here in Lausanne, Switzerland. So time now to put these away as I've moved inside the Sports Center of Mali for more of afternoon picks. Because of the large number of competitors in men's and women's competition, because of the breakup of the Soviet Union, they've had to go to a qualifying format. And earlier this week, they had to split everybody up into two groups to give them a chance to qualify to get into the short program and the free skate. Let's begin with the women's competition. Here's Susan Humphreys of Canada. She had to wait an awfully long time before her music started, and it seemed just to give her too much time to think. She struggled a little bit, but is 12th in the A group. Then 1995 world champion Lu Chen of China. She is battling injury. In fact, has not had complete practices since the 9th of February and did not perform very well, 11th in Group B. A medalist last year in Edmonton, Irina Slutskaya of Russia. She's got the jumps, but a lot of people felt that she looked a little tired in her qualifying. There was a big surprise from a French skater, and no, it was not Surya Bonali. It was Vanessa Gusmaroli. She finished second in round A. Also in Group A, the defending world champion, American Michelle Kwan. Americans were everywhere in qualifying. She came out on top in her group. Which brings us to the American Wonder. National champion, winner of the Champion Series, Tara Lipinski. First in her group, she gave a solid performance with all the confidence needed to be a champion. So let's take a look at the qualifying. In round A, Michelle Kwan, then the French skater Gusmaroli, and in 12th position, Susan Humphreys. In Group B, leading the way, Tara Lipinski, then Nicole Bobek. Do not count her out. Maria Butriskaya. There's the top five for you. Joining me now to talk about what happened in the women's qualifying is Barb Underhill. And Barb, it seems that there's a mighty block of Americans that we have to contend with here in Lausanne.
Well, that was, I think, the one thing that was completely obvious was that the American team certainly has a chance of sweeping here. They came out very strong. It's great to see Nicole Bobeck back. She's been out due to injury, didn't make the world team last year. She's back. She's very strong, adds a definite element of quality to the competition. Michelle Kwan came out and skated. She seems to be gaining a little bit of the confidence back since losing her national title, losing the Champions Series final. Seems to be slowly getting it back. But again, Tara Lipinski is the one that everybody's talking about. I think she could do that program cleanly with her eyes closed. She reminds me of Michelle Kwan last year, how she just couldn't miss.
Well, let's talk about now. We've talked about the American block. Last year, Rina Slutskaya was on the podium. Can she squeeze a spot back into the top three?
She certainly could. I think people just aren't really thinking that because she hasn't really been skating all that well. But if she does skate well, there's certainly a chance for a medal.
All right, the Canadian, Susan Humphries, she wants this top 10 performance. Does she have it in her?
Well, the qualifying round, she barely squeezed through. I think we were all a little bit nervous for her, but I think she's very confident, and hopefully she'll do well.
The big story here, China's Lu Chen, 1995 world champion, has not practiced very well and did not look good in qualifying.
It was very sad. I felt for her. She looked like she didn't want to be out there, and she's here simply so that she can qualify for the Olympics, and it's just sad. You would kind of wish that she would have waited and come back strong next year.
Well, it could be Tara's time here in Switzerland. It's going to be a great... Now, very quiet. Earlier today, they had the dance compulsories. Tracy Wilson will join me. We'll talk about that. Coming up later tonight here on CTV, we will have the pair's short program and some highlights for you from dance competition. The men had to qualify on Sunday. Here's a quick quiz for you. Which country has won the most medals in men's figure skating at the World Championships? And time's up. Austria has won 53. And they're 2 medals ahead of the United States, but both countries have won 22 gold. How does Canada stand? 9 gold medals, 9 silver, and 6 bronze, which brings us to qualifying, and it was big gun time in Mali. Let's take a look at the action. And this gentleman you may not have heard of before. This is 21-year-old Laurent Taubel. He captured the audience's heart with a program skated to the Pink Panther. He was funny, he was animated, the crowd ate him up. The judges, though, on the other hand, did not mark him that strongly. The king of themes, Eric Milo of France, wowed the crowd with his rendition of Bond, James Bond. He is Philippe Candellaro's replacement. Philippe not here because of an injury, and he is third in the B group. An injured heel did not hold back Russia's Alexei Yagudin. He finished in 6th in the first group of qualifying. The other Mariposa man, Jeffrey Langdon of Canada, had a strong skate, finishing in 5th place in the second qualifying group. And when it was all over, there was a sigh of relief. Sporting a new uniform, look, Ma, no gloves. Alexei Urmanov of Russia brought out the big guns. Yes, he has a quad, loaded it, and fired. He was first in the B group. Another member of the quad squad. They're going to have to get jackets. Ilya Kulik. Now, he had a problem. He broke a blade Thursday in practice. Is skating with a new old blade from an old skate, but had a quad. Ended up in 2nd in round B behind Urmanov. With ankle injuries still healing, Todd Eldridge had one slight problem in his qualifying skate. But he still managed to lead the way in round A. And to Elvis Stoico. He also planned to show off his quad. He went into it, did not feel right coming down, and had to come out and land. As it stands right now, it is Eldridge and Elvis Stoico, 1-2 in one group. The other group, the Russians, Urmanov and Ilya. Okay, where's your quad? Show me that. We'll get you a jacket. This is amazing qualifying. They didn't take it easy at all.
I was extremely surprised at the level that they rose to. It's almost as though none of them wants to be beat by the other guy. And they came out here and skated inspired programs. They went for everything. We were all sitting here shocked.
Have we just seen a change here now, Barb? It used to be you had to have a triple axle. Now do you have to have a quad?
Yes, and this has all happened in the last year. I can't believe the difference in what these guys are doing. It used to be you had to do triple axle, triple toe as a combination. Now they got to have the quad.
Now, we can mix up a number of skaters in here for first, second, and third. Elvis had such a dominating skate at Hamilton. We'll see that a little later in the program. Is he in the right frame of mind coming in?
Absolutely. I spoke to him at length yesterday. He's so confident, so ready. It's like he's been building towards this moment all season long, and he's not going to give it away. He's going to go for everything.
Which one of the Russians do you like better? Do you like Alexei Urbanov or Ilya Kulik, or does it really depend on the day and the evening?
It absolutely depends on the day. I just have this feeling, though, that Ilya Kulik, it's time for a performance from him that really stands out. He's sort of been cruising along all season long. We've been waiting for the big performance. It could be here.
And we've been talking about the Americans on the women's side, about a 1-2-3 sweep. On the men's side, we have the defending world champion here, Todd Eldredge, but the American men perhaps not as well represented.
Well, Michael Weiss actually came out. He didn't skate great, but I think he's a skater that is on the edge of jumping into that top group. He's certainly a very, very strong skater, and he's a member of the quad squad, too. But the Americans had a real disappointment when one of their skaters, Dan Hollander, did not qualify. That was a huge shock. They automatically get 16 points, which means that it's going to be very, very difficult for the American men to send 3 men to the Worlds next year and the Olympics.
The buzz is amazing here about all these guys doing all these jumps. The hang time here is being compared now to football. These guys are up in the air forever. It seems a remarkable athletic feat.
But you know what it did was when Laurent Tobel, the French skater, came out and skated with such character, and he brought the house down because it wasn't just about jumps for him. He entertained the audience. He was fantastic. He had people like crying because they were laughing so hard, and that's what the sport really needs. You need the jumps, but it's really fun to see the other side of skating.
And how's this for pressure, too? Laurent Tobel will skate before Elvis in his short program. So we go from a little artistry right to the athleticism of Elvis. The standings again in the men's qualifying looked like this. It was Todd Eldredge in Group 1, followed by Elvis Stoyko. Zagorodniak was in third. In round B, the 2 Russians, Alexei Urbanov and Ilya Kulik. Jeffrey Langdon, a very good skate, in 5th place. As for men's coverage, the scene of all the action for the World Championships, coming up later tonight, we will have for you the pairs short program and highlights from the dance compulsories. Compulsories were held today. They had the Golden Waltz and the Rumba. And let's begin by showing you both of the compulsory dances of the Canadian champion, Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kratz. Well, you can see that the Canadian fans in the crowd liked it. The judges found them so very tied with Ovsyannikov and Krylova. Now, the rumba, their second compulsory dance. As you can see, Shailene Bourne and Victor Kratz, after their second compulsory dance, when they were all done the compulsories, they spoke to Tracy Wilson. Angelika Krylova and Oleg Ovsyannikov in second. Shailene Bourne and Victor Kratz are in third. You see the tie for fourth between the two French teams and a very strong American team, Poncelan and Swallow. And Chantal Lefebvre, Michel Brunet in 19th place. It's a pleasure to have with us on the CTV crew for the World Championships a champion in her own right here, Tracy Wilson. Not a bad rumba and waltzer, too, I've noticed. So let us talk about what we've seen in the compulsory dance. Are there any surprises?
Well, Grichuk and Blatov are in first place, and that's not a surprise. But what I found was really interesting this morning was the way in which Shailene and Victor and Krylova and Ovsyannikov approached their first dance. Shailene and Victor looked like they were on top of the world, while Krylova and Ovsyannikov looked like they were carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders, and it really showed up on the ice, not so much in the marks. Krylova and Ovsyannikov made a major mistake. They looked really, really tight in the first dance. Shailene and Victor skated beautifully, and I think you could argue a case for them winning the first dance. In the second dance, Krylova and Ovsyannikov came out fighting and pulled it together somewhat and finished strongly. Boy, this is quite a change. Now we see Shay and Vic fighting with Ovsyannikov and Krylova for second. What happened to the battle with them and the French teams? Well, Shailene and Victor have clearly moved themselves out of the running with the French teams. It's no longer a fight for a medal. It's what color. I think there's no question that they will win a medal. They are so close with Krylova and Ovsyannikov. In the first dance, they had to go to 3 tiebreakers to determine that it was, in fact, a tie. And then on the second dance, it's a 3-4 split for Krylova and Ovsyannikov. So it can't get any closer than that. Now, does this compulsory competition set the stage for what we're going to see in the original dance and the free skate? Is everything determined in the compulsories, or is it a good springboard? It's a great springboard, and I think what happens is the judges start to find the order where, you know, there's not a lot of movement in dance, right or wrong. I think it's wrong, but there isn't. And it really sets the tone for the competition. And when Shailene and Victor are in a fight that close, you know they're battling for second. And that's going to set the stage for the competition. All right, we will have